Good evening, and welcome to more show reviews.
Another show to review.
All right, and of course we got Rye and Scuba. And the show we're going to start talking about now is, you guessed it, The Witcher.
Boom.
Dropped on Netflix. We've had a chance to check it out. So we're going to do this kind of like the same thing we did for Mandalorian, which is a previous one we did. We're going to go through each episode, and then we'll do a recap of the season. And I gotta say, this one's intense.
It does. It goes a little more deeper than you would expect.
So, forewarning, spoilers if you have not watched it. Go to Netflix, check it out. 8 episodes, each one's roughly about an hour. Want to thank Syrinscape for these background sounds that you're hearing through as we're talking. And go to Syrinscape.com to check it out. And with that, spoiler warning. So
spoilers.
Yep, let's get into it. Episode 1. The End's Beginning. So this one sets the bar.
It does set the bar, but it also leaves a lot of mystery because of the structure of the show, or not. Let me rephrase that. The structure of the episode. But it really doesn't come into play till...
That's every episode's following that structure. It seems like we have two different... We're focusing on... We have part of the story... Part of the episode we're focusing on Geralt.
Yeah.
And part of the episode we're focusing on Cirilla.
And there's a third one.
Well, we haven't gotten to her yet. So...
Is that not in the first episode?
No.
Or am I just blending things together?
You're kind of blending. Trust me. You can get into it. I mean, fair warning. I watched the first episode, waited a few days, watched the second episode... Then started the third episode, and I just went binge from there.
Yeah, you're right.
So it gets a little, but that's
wonky.
Why we're going to slow it down. We're going to try and break it down. So first episode is basically how Geralt got his nickname, the Butcher of Blaviken.
Oh, yes.
And...
It showcases this episode was more about character building and exposition for the world that is The Witcher. So yeah,
I mean we kind of just jump in. Yeah. We're not doing like so many other things. It's like here's someone's birth, here they get their powers. No, it's hi, we're in the swamp, and there's Geralt fighting a monster.
Oh yeah, he's fighting for those that are unfamiliar with The Witcher. It's a monster called the Kikamora.
So. It's like watching that. Yes, you're on camera, by the way. You're trying to sneak in. You're on his camera.
Sneaky.
So you might want to vanish. She's not a very good ninja. Anyways, so he's fighting a Kikamora, and that poor deer.
Oh yeah, that you think that nothing's gonna happen, and then something happens, and then it just.
It's like the deer's eating, drinking, and then all of a sudden. Kikamora, and then Geralt looks at it, and the deer's kind of laying there injured, and it's like, it's not your day.
It is not your day, and it sets the bar of how to take this show, because the show just goes just from there, very intense, brutal, and fantasy on a high level of extreme violence.
Yes, this is definitely an adult show.
Yes,
this is definitely not. This is. This is definitely TVMA.
This is TVMA. It pushes that MA.
Well, that's the beauty of streaming. Yes. You can push boundaries you can't push on network television.
You have the freedom, but that freedom also allows them to explore the lore a lot better.
Oh, yes. So, Geralt goes to Blaviken. He meets Renfri and Stragaborn. You see just that kind of this whole political back and forth with Geralt 9 times out of 10 in the center of it.
Oh yeah, he is a straight a bounty hunter. He goes and hunts monsters, but he always seems to get dragged into these things.
All these political squabbles of men.
Yes, he's always just like, huh.
Wow. But I think Harvey Keitel is portraying Geralt really well on this.
I think his very just calm demeanor and very stoic personality give a good combination that it levels out his emotions when there aren't any.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so he gets into a fight. kills a bunch of people. We see fighting a Witcher is not a winning deal.
No, you're gonna find the end of a blade quick.
So, but this is how he gets his nickname, and this is what sets that bar and that tone. So, it looks like it was directed by Alik. I can't even pronounce that.
Alik Sakharov.
Mm-hmm. And then written by Lauren Schmidt Hissrich. Yeah.
And just to give a highlight to the director, he did direct a few episodes of Boardwalk Empire, Game of Thrones, and Dexter, and Rome.
So he's done definitely gritty shows. And all right, so let's for those uninformed or those who aren't aware, the Witcher series on Netflix is not. The games take place after this series. This series is talking about the books, which were released in Europe prior to the first game. So you really want to get some good context, you got to check out the books for The Witcher. And this series takes place, because you can tell by looking at Ciri, if you've played Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, Ciri is a grown woman in that game.
Yes.
Here, she is a 12-year-old girl.
She is a child. So it gives context to what to expect for the rest of the episodes.
Yes. So what were some of your highlights?
Highlights from this episode. It did a great job of just kind of dropping you in the world, explaining the world without being, turning to the camera saying, this is how things are. No, it just it's very organic in the way it explains things. You just kind of follow the characters through the world. You understand the pros and the cons. You understand some of the conflict that's going on, but just enough to keep you wanting to watch the next episode. Like, okay, there's a connection between these two stories, but you're not sure what yet.
Oh, yeah. Also, how do you think this... You've played Witcher 3, right?
Yeah, my favorite game. My favorite game of the decade.
I've played bits and pieces of it. Do you think Harvey Keitel is Geralt? Do you think this is like the Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, Harvey Keitel is Geralt?
I would say yes. Because the way Geralt of Rivia is in the games, he's very, low-key. He's not very emotive, because that's the way the witches are. They're not emotional. They're sterile.
Some are, but I think also Geralt is also, it's just so cynical.
Yeah.
I mean, the cynicalness of Geralt really comes through.
Yeah, it comes through a lot because of his past and because of the training to become a Witcher. And you from the books and the games, you see why and how.
But so yeah, we have we kind of set this out. We have Geralt and Ciri.
Yeah.
Ciri's storyline takes place with the fall of Sintra.
Yeah, fall of Sintra, and the overall main enemy of the series, or at least this first season, is the Nilfgaardians.
Nilfgaard is the antagonist all the way through the game.
Yeah, it's the antagonist pretty much against.
I mean, that is an overarching story. Yeah. Is Nilfgaard's expansion into the world throughout the course of the books and the games.
Yeah, and you get an idea of why. It's not just they're just bad guys, but there's enough in the first episode where you might understand why, which just leads into wanting to watch more. So,
yeah. All right, with that, I think that puts a good way to start the bar with episode 1.
Yes.
Go ahead and if you liked you like how we're talking about this, or want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our channel, and go ahead and hit the bell so you can be notified. And stay tuned. We're going to continue on doing each episode, giving it just it's I lost my train of thought. See, this is how organic this is. Each episode, it's due justice to talk about, because there are episodes where it really gets insane.
Oh yeah, and because the Witcher is on Netflix, so if you
can binge the whole thing. So we've watched it.
Yes,
but it's just, we're not going to sit here and try and binge reviews. We're going to give each episode its thing. So also, and if you want to check out the previous show that we did reviews on, which was The Mandalorian,
season 1, people,
released on Disney Plus. There'll be a link at the end. There'll be a little tag or card that'll link over to the playlist with all of those episodes. So with that, subscribe, check us out, and stay tuned for more.